Hi guys, Chamion here. I'm going to do a corn pie for you all, my version, because what happened when I'm saying my version, Trinidad and Tobago corn pie. Why I'm saying my version is a lot of time corn pie does not call for cheese. And when you don't put cheese in it, it's somewhat bland. We already have a corn pie demo on the channel here, but there is two things with our demo. It's an incomplete demo. It don't have final product, right? It will have me presenting the final part of it. And secondly, that's a corn pie if you want to have it immediately. So it was cooked using a bit more corn flour, as it is known in the international world, of cornmeal. So now I'm going to do it the way that it's supposed to be done, right? Which is more moist. This version, you are going to have to make ahead of time, like if you're doing a Sunday lunch or for a get together or something like that, you'll have to do it ahead of time to give a chance to cool down, to cut. So I'm already fully prepped. You will need, if you want to follow my way to make this pie, you will need some evaporated milk of your choice. You will need 3 large eggs beaten. You will need freshly chopped seasonings, which is onion, 1 garlic. I don't like too much of garlic and things like these. And about 3 or 4 pimentos, depending on the size of it, and you want to put red in there. I like red with corn flour with the yellow, right? You will need about 1.5 cups of whole kernel corn. I like frozen kernel corn versus the canned stuff. You will need a can of cream style corn, and of course some salt and pepper and butter, and some freshly chopped parsley in there. So this is my cheese I already have in the processor. I'm just going to use 2 tablespoons of butter. You can use margarine if it's what you have, but don't use what is known as cooking butter here in Trinidad and Tobago. Please don't. Always use supple facing butter for things like these. I don't even cook with cooking butter, I'm being real, and that's well over a decade now. Right, my pot is already hot. So I'm just going to get it in my freshly chopped seasonings in there. The butter is going to melt down in time, because sometimes with the imported butter, the American butter, it's a stick of butter. If you realize I'm using, what happens is it gets discolored quickly if your pot is too hot, right? And it foams a lot. It behaves differently to our butter, right? It's only one place I get out to buy at present in Trinidad. Right? If you want to know, comment below. Anything, questions or so you might have, just comment below and I'll answer you in a timely manner. I guarantee that, okay? So now you all will have both versions of my corn pie. The one if you want to serve immediately, and this one which is going to take much longer to cool, okay? So now I'm going to add my evaporated milk, right, followed by, turn on the fire at this stage. You don't want your milk to scald or boil. And I'm going to add my cheese at this point, some of my cheese. Right, I'll say, because you don't top corn pie with cheese, remember I said why I put cheese in my own, right? Because you don't top corn pie with cheese, I will say use about 1 cup in it. It makes the world of difference with the taste of your pie. Sometimes try it without and try it with and tell me what you have, right? You all know I like feedback on the demos and so forth, right? So try both ways and see what you have. I'm just going to put a bit of salt and pepper, freshly ground. Both are going to, I'm going to ground fresh. Just a couple turns on it, on each grinder. If you want to know, I did a feature on a gourmet specialty food store in West Trinidad, Diego Martin, not too long ago, and it's featured there. That store is where I got that Stonewall salt and pepper grinder. It's a medley of peppercorns. It's not whole black. It's not only black peppercorns, and it's just beautiful. The texture of that main sea salt in there is amazing. I'm just going to give a few turns also before I go to turn it into the pot. For the month of June 2016, into a month of June, when you go there at Brook Foods, that's the store name in the Martin, Brook Foods. When you call my name there, during cash out or check out, you will get a discount for the entire month of June 2017. So I'm going to start with adding just a touch of sea salt, not too much, because remember, cheddar contains cheese, okay? I'm just going to give probably 2 turns on it, which might not even be able to be measured in tables, in spoons setting. Right there's where I want to stop. And I'm going to use the fresh sugar and black pepper, peppercorn, not black pepper, but mixed peppercorns. The flavors in this is so much more intense because it's not sitting. You only use it when you are ready for it. So the flavors are really, really intense in this one. Look at the colors that we have going there. You watch the colors of even what's in the grinder. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, so I'm going to now add my cream style corn. Let me just open it. I'm using an electric device to open it, okay? You don't want to add your eggs too hurry because you don't want your eggs to scramble, right? So don't add your eggs too hurry in there. Right, so I'm going to just open up my cream style corn. Be careful if you own this electric opener. The arm is magnetic and it just drops whatever it is it's attached to. So this is what your cream style corn looks like, right? This is what your cream style corn looks like. Don't ever leave things sitting in cans like these. I'm getting it in immediately. Remember I told you all this is a moist pie, right? The first one I just did it quickly because I wanted you guys to be able to serve it immediately, but it's a moist pie. It's more of a custard texture, like I said. Right? So I'm going to add the whole kernel corn at this point. I'm going to put a bit of all-purpose seasoning in there also. Right? I want to put some nutmeg in there because I happen to love how spices taste and things like these. I'm going to put a bit of nutmeg, freshly grated nutmeg in there. It's already looking so pretty. Don't be too quick to add your eggs. You see how I'm delaying adding the eggs? It's for great purpose. I'm just using my Mario Batali zester. It's zester meaning it's for fruits that contain zest like citrus, but I'm just using it because it just helps and works beautifully for chocolate shavings and spices and things like these. If you have a grinder for spice, by all means go ahead and use it, right? Even a coffee grinder, a quick tip, it works just as well if you put in things like these, depending on the power and the wattage of it, right? So about there is where I want to stop. You can add, for a bit of heat, a little bit of heat, you can add chili flakes in there if you like. But if you have kids eating or persons that can't stand the heat, just be careful. I'm going to add the parsley at this stage, followed by the all-purpose. Right, so I'm just adding some freshly chopped parsley. It's not dehydrated. The dehydrated is only for garnish. It doesn't release any flavor whatsoever. Right? If you want to know which all-purpose I'm using Maggie brand all-purpose. Is the only mixed seasoning I use. The color and everything is just brilliant if you ask me. So I gravitate towards this and this only when I'm using. I'm going to put it on the spatula for you guys to see, okay? This is what it looks like. This is the color of it. Don't put too much. Remember, we spoke on salt in not the cheddar being naturally salted, okay? So now I'm going to put the eggs. Remember, keep your fire low at this point. You don't want scrambled eggs, right? After the live, you'll be able, the viewers that's here now, you'll be able to watch after, of course, right? That's the thing with it. You will need a whisk for this part of things. So I'm going to get my whisk. Just be careful when you're using your pots and so forth that is coated non-stick ware, because you don't want any issues, right? Turn it fast so your eggs won't scramble. Right? And at this stage, it's even safe to shut off your pot altogether. because your eggs, you don't want it cooking, right? I'm going to add the corn flour, cornmeal at this stage in small portions. I'm going to add it. Remember I said this is a pie that is somewhat, it's supposed to be very moist even after baking. I just did a quick one for you guys. This is the corn flour that I'm using. Comment below for the amount and the brand, okay? This time around we are doing this corn pie different. Not much different, we are just using less corn flour. So about here is where we want to leave it this time around. We are not going firmer this time around. Right? And like that, we are ready to get it into the baking dish. Keep in mind, this is a pie that we don't bake with cheddar on the top or any cheese. I don't put it at the top. It just doesn't make sense really. You have the intense cheese flavor in there and that's all you will need. So I'm just going back to my counter to spray my dish and put it down in the oven to bake. Right? You all see how it looks. I'm going to do one more shot of the texture of it for you to see how moist it is. It's supposed to be like this. Even a little bit more moist than this. And you are not going to leave it to go by for any period of time. And you are not going to bake it in any container of water or anything like that. It's just going to go straight on the top rack of your oven. Right? It could be a little more moist than this, but that's perfect texture for me, and you all should keep it there also. So I'm just going to go back to my counter space. Use your non-stick, that's just some parsley from my hand. Use your non-stick spray. Don't be afraid at this point, because remember, you don't want your beautiful pie sticking up. I'm using some cold pressed organic extra virgin olive oil, okay? Use palm if you like. That's one of my go-to non-stick brands, right? I'll tell you something. If you find your pie is a bit too dry, don't throw it away. Just add some more evaporated milk into it, right? And give a turn with your whisk again. Don't throw it away and become alarmed. Just add a bit more of your evaporated milk, okay? That's all you need to do. Don't become alarmed and say it's too dry and give up. No, just add a bit more of your liquids and then that's it. Remember, I told you all, right? You all know I go through all these steps for great purpose with you all. Right, so I'm about to put it into the baking dish in less than a minute and get it down in our oven to bake. Right, so I'm going to show you guys the texture of it before I get it in. This is what you want to see with corn pie. See how runny it looks? Yeah. Always use something that can, the correct size baking dish also, please. See how it looks? That's what you want. Right? Just level it out with your spatula or whatever, and easy like that. Our corn pie. Forget how the spray looks in it. It's going to disappear once it's cooked, right? But just make sure it's level on every corner, so to speak, and you are good. Right? So I'm just gonna smooth it out a bit. You could also use the settling method, kind of like this, right? And it's ready to go down in the oven. I don't speak on time and so forth for a reason. You will know how your oven behaves and you'll have to move accordingly, right? But monitor it and don't ever put anything you are baking on the bottom rack of your oven. So I'm gonna do the final presentation for you all, right? Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for all your support.